I call to order our meeting right now. It is 5:01 or 5 o'clock. I, Ysidro, the President of the Governing Board, call the July 10th, 2025 regular board meeting of the San Ysidro School District to order at 5:01. Before we begin the roll call, I would like to inform the public that all translations will be conducted simultaneously today via headset. If any member of the public would like translation from English to Spanish or Spanish to English, please visit the translators table to pick up a headset. Thank you. Roll call. I will now ask the superintendent and secretary to the board, Dr. Potter, to conduct the roll call for attendance. Dr. Potter.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to our governing board meeting. We are on agenda item number 2, which is our roll call. Board President, Mrs. Yolanda Rosario.
Present.
Board Vice President, Mr. Antonio Martinez.
Present.
Board Clerk, Mrs. Irene Lopez.
Present.
Board Member, Mr. Martin Arias.
Present.
And Board Member, Mrs. Kenya Peraza.
Present.
Madam President, all 5 board members are here.
Thank you. Number 3, the agenda. For agenda item number 3, I would like to make a motion to approve the agenda with the following corrections. To pull consent calendar agenda item 13B.2, resource specialist. Correct the spelling of the first name in consent calendar agenda item 13B.3 from Daisy D-A-I-S-Y to Daisy D-A-Y-S-I. Change the funding source for the consent calendar agenda item 13E.19 from Title II to Title III carryover funds.
I'll second your motion, Madam President, with your modifications.
The motion was made by me, Ysidro Rosario, second by board member Antonio Martinez. May I have a vote?
Aye.
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 The motion passes 5-0. Number 4, public comment, communications on closed session items. And we have Roxanne Palestino. Closed session 5.1.
Good evening. My name is Roxanne Palestino, and tonight, yet again, we see Lopez versus San Ysidro School District listed in closed session. This is an active lawsuit in San Diego Superior Court, and this board has never once given the public an update. I'm wondering, how long has this case been going on? What are the allegations? What has it cost the district? We're not asking for confidential details or names, but we want to know what kind of issues are being raised and what's being done to fix them. This board never reports back after closed session. You vote, you decide, you walk out, and leave parents and staff and students with zero information. You expect community to trust you, yet you don't even explain what's happening behind closed doors. You hide behind legal codes, and those codes don't ban you from giving public general summaries. You choose silence because it protects you, not the public. Mr. Antonio Martinez, if you're running for city council, you should know public office means with public responsibility. Staying silent about legal issues in your own district while campaigning for San Diego City Council, it's politics, and the community is watching. We demand more than titles. We demand accountability, transparency, and respect. If you can't even tell us what the Lopez case is about, how can we trust that any of you are protecting the families in this district? I can keep going to my other ones? Okay.
5.2, closed session item.
Okay, if the student has gone so far as to sue the San Ysidro School District, something serious failed. Yet all we get is vague lines on the agenda and silence. The community deserves answers. Was this about special education, student safety, discrimination? What corrective action is underway? How much will this cost taxpayers, and how will you prevent a repeat? We don't need private names or legal strategy, just leadership. Instead, this board retreats behind closed doors, then emerges without a single word to the families you serve. That is not transparency, it's avoidance. Parents have a right to know their children are safe and supported. You have a duty to protect them and to report back to the public. Do what you guys were elected to do. Or this is just another bullet point for your resume. Can I keep going?
Just the next one?
Yes.
5.3,
Okay, the district is anticipating significant exposure to litigation. That's just not just legal jargon. That means something serious went wrong. And what a surprise. Once again, this board meeting behind closed session without a single word of explanation to the public. Are we talking about retaliation, discrimination, a violation of someone's rights? Are students involved, employees, taxpayer money? Again, we don't need private details, but we do need honesty. We need to know what's putting in the district at risk and what's being done to stop it.
Excuse me, I apologize to interrupt. I'm just curious if we're on 5.3. You seem to be referencing anticipated litigation, which is not on the agenda.
What was on the agenda, you guys posted 72 hours ago, that's where I got all my information. Last meeting was the same thing, I go off what you guys post 72 hours before, and then you guys make changes, and I don't know what's going on. I do my homework 72 hours before. So,
There has been no change to this agenda. I'm just curious. I don't believe this is the topic that you're speaking to.
okay, it says it labors, 5.3, right? I did 5.2, and now I was on 5.3, but then you interrupted me.
You indicated you were speaking about anticipated litigation, which is not on the agenda. Are you speaking to 5.3 negotiations?
Okay, negotiations.
All right, we'll start your timer from the beginning. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay, I'm asking once again, this board for transparency. Every meeting, we see vague references to lawsuits, employee discipline, negotiations, and closed session, and every time the public is left in the dark. Again, we're not asking for confidential details, but we're asking for clarity, for accountability, for respect. And at the last meeting, I wasn't allowed to comment on closed session items just because I got here after 5 p.m. Even though I've showed up meeting after meeting, this board doesn't want to hear from parents. You guys want us to sit quietly while you guys make decisions behind closed doors. And to the community, I want you to really think about this. Antonio Martinez is running for city council, but when was the last time you saw him standing with our students, fighting for families, listening to our concerns? Not once. This isn't personal, it's about leadership, it's about values, it's about showing up for the community when it matters, not just when it's time to get unions votes. We don't need more politicians chasing endorsements. We need people who actually do the work consistently, publicly, and with integrity. Okay, 5.4, that one's the employee discipline and dismissal. Okay, it's a serious action, whether it's misconduct, poor performance, or violation of district policy. The fact that this is on the agenda means something happened. But what does this board do? Hide behind legal codes, make decisions in closed session, and never ever report back to the community. If it involves student safety, discrimination, staff mistreatment, we deserve to know. Will someone let go? We deserve to know why and what will change moving forward. Not names, but transparency. Because it's not just about employees, it's about the system that allowed it and the leadership that stayed silent. We need to know if the student was impacted. Was it a specific school site? Are families aware of what happened?
Five point one, conference with legal counsel existing litigation. We will be in closed session discussing 5.2, conference with legal counsel pending litigation. 5.3, government code section 54957.6, conference with labor negotiators. 5.4, government code section 54957, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, or reassignment.
Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn or to, recess into closed session at 5:10 p.m.
Is there a second?
I second it.
Can I have a vote? Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. We are now going into closed session.
Madam President, we are live.
Thank you. Call to order, we are now convening into open session from closed session at this time. We do have some items to report out. Legal counsel, Amy.
Good evening, Board. With respect to closed session item 5.2, the Board approved the settlement agreement in Office of Administrative Hearing case number 2025-040-939. The motion was made by Board President Rosario and seconded by Board Member Lopez. 4 votes in favor and 1 abstention.
Before we begin the open session, I would like to inform the public that all translations will be conducted simultaneously today via headset. If any member of the public would like translation from English to Spanish or Spanish to English, please visit the translator's table to pick up a headset. Thank you. 7, roll call. I will now ask the superintendent and secretary to the board, Dr. Potter, to conduct the roll call for attendance.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our governing board meeting. Thank you, Madam President. We are on agenda item number 7, which is our roll call. So, Board President, Mrs. Zenaida Rosario.
Present.
Board Vice President, Mr. Antonio Martinez.
Present.
Board Clerk, Mrs. Irene Lopez.
Present.
Board Member, Mr. Martin Arias.
Present.
And Board Member, Mrs. Kenya Peraza.
Present.
Madam President, all 5 board members are here.
Thank you. I will now lead us with the flag salute. Please stand. Put your right hand over your heart, ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we will have board recognitions, distinguished champion awards, and I will call up our assistant superintendent, Mr. Navarro.
Madam President. Madam President, members of the board, Dr. Potter, it's an honor for me to introduce to you our San Ysidro Education Collaborative, which will provide us with a presentation. Winners of the AXA Partnership Award in Education this year. Okay. Is Cynthia Laguna?
I don't think she's here yet.
She's
Like in traffic.
Okay.
Came from Pre-Maca College, so.
Maybe we'll hold on to that.
Yes.
Go to 9.2.
Yes, we'll go to 9.2, and then we will. Boy, that traffic in San Diego was just getting more intense. Now we will have 9.2, the recognition of our new principal for La Mirada.
Thank you, Madam President, distinguished board members, and our amazing superintendent, Dr. Potter. We are thrilled to introduce Mr. Rick Quintana as the new principal of La Mirada School, which I was a student a few years ago. It was the first graduating class, I want to tell you what year. Okay, 1973. Mr. Quintana brings a strong academic foundation, having earned a bachelor's degree in biology from San Diego State University and a master's degree in psychology from National University. For the past 10 years, Mr. Quintana has served faithfully to the San Ysidro School District with distinction as the lead psychologist in our special education department. In that role, he not only guided a team of school psychologists, but also provided mentorship, training, and expert support in areas such as IEPs and 504 plans. His colleagues consistently describe him as a clear communicator, a self-starter, and someone who forms meaningful connections with students. Many expressed that he is one of the most genuine and dedicated professionals they've had the pleasure to work with. And while they're sad to see him leave the department, they are excited for the positive impact he'll have at La Mirada School. Mr. Quintana is eager to begin this new chapter and has shared his commitment to working collaboratively to enhance the educational experience and outcomes for all students at La Mirada School. Please join us in welcoming Mr. Quintana to his new leadership role.
No, not Mr. Bristow, you're right in the middle, and would you like to introduce yourself?
So this is my wife, my oldest daughter, and my youngest son are here. I have a third son, or a second. Who claims I didn't give him enough time, so he couldn't make it. He's working, so he couldn't make it, but he's here with us and he's very excited.
He is now officially an eagle.
All right, are you ready for the photo? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations. Does it matter?
Management team, you want to come take a photo of Mr. Quintana? Turn your roll.
Yes, we are.
All right, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. 3, 2.
Biggest meeting we got.
Madam President, it's an honor for me to introduce to you the chair of the San Ysidro Education Collaborative Committee. And a dear friend, thank you for being here, Dr. Nagura.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? What is this? Okay, I'm used to having a mic. Good evening, governing board members, Superintendent Potter, and our esteemed guests. My name is Cynthia Nagura, and I am honored to serve as the chairperson for San Ysidro Collaborative. We are grateful to be supported by the district and eager to continue our long history, now 12 years, working closely and supporting the San Ysidro community, and particularly the students of the San Ysidro School District. And so I'm here with a group of our executive leadership team, and we will be sharing with you. We're very honored to be able to share about our ongoing work and support for the San Ysidro students, families, and staff. So we will start our presentation. There we go. So our collaborative was established in 2013, originally as a committee under the San Ysidro Chamber of Commerce. We do have a very diverse group of leaders made up from education, business, community agencies, nonprofits. And as I mentioned, this does include an executive leadership team, and all of the presenters you'll be hearing from today are leaders. And we are largely volunteer-based. Our mission is to collaborate as a partnership of business, community, and education to leverage resources and provide services and support to San Ysidro children and families. And I hope you enjoy the book. Our common passion, which I really want to express this to you, we desire to inspire and motivate the children to stay in school, to pursue higher education and/or a career. And we do this by addressing needs from cradle to career. And in order to do this, we know that students and families, in order to be able to address their needs, we need to be looking at what happens beyond the classroom. As I mentioned, I like this one because it's very colorful. Our diversity includes our educational partners, many organizations that offer social services, employment agencies, STEM community initiatives, and many others. We are made up of committees, and I believe you received a flyer about our collaborative, and included is a description of our different committees. So I will just go over them quickly here. Education and career pathways, mental wellness, joy for education, membership and partnership, San Ysidro STEM, inspirational movie night, parent engagement and support. And you're welcome to attend any of our committee meetings. Our committees are each led by a committee leader. And now we appreciate your attention to hear about the exciting work that we're doing for San Ysidro. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Eric Meyer. I'm the Assistant Director of Education and Engagement at the Fleet Science Center. And the Fleet's mission is really to realize a San Diego where everyone's connected to the power of science. And one of the ways that we believe that works really well is by connecting with local communities and individuals to find out what the interests and aspirations of those communities and individuals are, to make sure that the work that we're doing is aligned with those interests. To that end, we've been involved with the San Ysidro Education Collaborative for many years now, and a couple of the signature things that we've been working on together are, one is the San Ysidro STEM Festival. This past year was the 4th year of the festival. You can see there was over 2,500 attendees there, 40 exhibitors, and over 25 volunteers. As part of that, this came out of a teacher expressed interest, many teachers expressed interest, to help connect what happens in the classrooms to opportunities for students in further education, whether it's high school, college, or career. We're able to connect with a lot of the STEM industry organizations in San Diego County as a Fleet Science Center that works with them naturally, to get them to come to San Ysidro and help students be able to see what happens in the classroom is connected to what people are doing in their careers. The other portion of that we really appreciate with this sort of event is the opportunity for intergenerational learning, and that goes both ways. As you can see from the quote there, the translation for myself and others is that as a parent that saw their child's interest in biology and dissection that they had not known before because they hadn't seen their child involved with that stuff. They may do it in the classroom, but they hadn't seen it in the public setting where the parent was there with them. And so they were able to see their child's interest in that sort of thing. The reverse is also true as well. At those types of events, there are things that parents can connect to as part of the work that they do and share their knowledge and skills with their children. So that intergenerational learning back and forth we feel is really important for helping students with their interests, with their identity, and helping them to go forward in those fields that they have an interest in. The other way that this has been happening through efforts of the Fleet Science Center and other partners is through intergenerational STEM nights at the library, San Ysidro Public Library. There was 12 of those events this year. Over 220 people attended those events. Both of these events, the STEM fair and also the intergenerational STEM nights, are this year we were able to have support from NASA for it, because NASA realizes that a STEM trained workforce happens through interest, identity, and exposure for students. So, thank you.
Good afternoon, board members, superintendent, and also the present here. Thank you. I'm Marisa Chavalli, and together with Ms. Alice de la Torre, we are the leads for the Parents Engagement Career Support Committee. We meet every third Tuesday of the month at 12 p.m. via Zoom. On the Parent Engagement Committee, our main challenge is to improve parents' participation and ensure they understand that the language is not a barrier to participating in their children's school. Some projects that we have been working on and continue working are of offering resource to parents, emphasizing the importance of the children's attendance to school, offering workshops on mental and physical health, English as a second language, and other works for parents, leadership, drugs, and enforcement, and different ones. We have attended also parent meetings such as DLAC and DPAC meetings. This is seeking to address their concerns and informing them about the events and activities available for them and the community. We participated in the Family Resource Fair, and we also offer a family financial fund night last school year, and we will offer in another financial presentation too, because the family, we're always looking what is the family interested in. We know it has always been a challenge to get parents involved, but we continue to work to seek opportunities, knowing the importance of being involved as a parent. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gabi Yan. I'm the Executive Director for the Teens Rise Foundation, where we support college and career readiness here in South County. And so it only made sense for me to be involved with the San Ysidro Education Collab to bring some of those resources and engagement opportunities to our students. So I'm going to talk a little bit about sixth grade presentation that also kind of aligns with our career exploration that we do at SIMS during the after-school program. And what we do here is bring professionals from different sectors to our elementaries here in San Ysidro School District and our middle schools for them to learn what it takes to be part of a profession and what it takes to be part of a career, really to inspire our students and what it takes to really have a successful life. And the same goes for our career exploration that we host at SIMS After School Program. It's a more intimate setting with 15 students with a professional that comes into the space, and they're able to have a Q&A with these professionals and learn more about really, learning the history of the individuals, their personal journey, as it becomes relatable to the student for them to see inspiration in their future as well. One of our signature programs that's been running for many years is our 7th grade internship day. This is a close partnership with Las Americas Outlets and SIMS, San Ysidro Middle School, where we bring roughly 120 students, 7th grade students, over to Las Americas for pretty much a full morning and early afternoon day of job shadowing. The work begins prior to the field trip. The teachers, the admin, the principal, we all go on to monthly meetings leading up to this fun event that typically happens sometime in March or April. And we're pretty much planning and recruiting vendors and tenants from Las Americas that are willing to support us in this adventure where we bring the 120 students. The students are prepped with understanding key terms when it comes to a professional setting, when it comes to the workplace. So key terms such as cash, customer service, things of that nature are introduced to them. From there, we talk to them a little bit about etiquette and present them with a series of questions that are acceptable for them to ask during their field trip. And questions that potentially we want to stay away from, such as, how much do you make? Still tends to be a popular question. Find a way of asking, somehow, some way. Some are shy to answer, some are not. But other than that, what ends up happening is the students come, we recruit 10 tenants that volunteer their time and their space and their staff to really take them behind the scenes. As you can see some pictures here where the students are literally going through the process of OSHA, of washing their hands, and understanding what it means to work in a food sector. And then above, you're seeing them visit one of the outlets, stores, where they sell men's suits, and they're able to learn about inventory, backstock, customer service, and so forth. What you're seeing also is them holding some notebooks. That's where they have a series of paperwork in front of them, where they have an opportunity to take notes and to also have their questions in front of them so they are coming prepared. After they're done with their rounds of visits, so each group is able to visit, top of my head, I think it's 2 stores, but it might be more. Can't recall at the moment. Once they do that, we enjoy some lunch. At times, we have very generous community vendors that support these efforts and donate their resources to us. And Las Americas make sure to host us very well. After lunch, we're able to then have the students come back and reflect on everything they learned. So now they have an opportunity to practice their public speaking skills and group efforts. And so they get together, and you'll see some images there where they're listening to our hosts share some words of inspiration, and then you're also seeing some students gaining some confidence as they're learning their public skills in front of their peers and sharing their learning through kind of relationship. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to Cynthia.
I know that the 7th grade internship day is one of Dr. Parker's favorite activities. Like she actually escapes to go there. So I also just want to point out that the 6th grade presentations and the 7th grade internship day, the founder of those is Mr. Bojorquez. So our next committee, I was actually hoping that our leader, Jose Mireles at SBCS, he's on his way, and I think he's stuck in traffic, but I will step in for him. So a number of years ago, well not a number, some time ago, post-pandemic, we organized a series of community roundtables, and we invited major players first who are dedicated to San Ysidro. So Casa Familiar, SBCS, South Bay Community Services, San Ysidro School District, high school, adult ed, the county, San Ysidro Health. And it was really great just to sit around. Dr. Carter was there. We sat around the table and said, okay, what are our top priorities? What are our key priorities for our community? Because we were already struggling prior to the pandemic, and now what are we doing? What do we need to do? So we brainstormed and identified the highest priority needs for the community, and mental wellness, not surprisingly, came out as a top priority. So a collaboration was launched, I like that word, in sharing ideas, understanding and addressing challenges, projects to work on, etc. And what you see on the slide are some of the areas that are currently being explored by this committee. Very dedicated group of people. Youth engagement, not forgetting our youth, the cross-border mental health partnership opportunities, promoting mental health career pathways, right, to sort of address the shortages that are happening, and developing a community resource directory.
The 2025 partner event, I do want to give a shout out to our co-chair for the membership and partnership committee, which is Wendy Messina. She is the executive manager for the Board of View Family YMCA. Through our membership and partnership committee, we like to throw some events, right? To get the members together and to be able to then allow for them to bring some potential referrals and to, or new potential members to learn more about the work that we do. So what you're seeing are some images of the group that was able to attend. The Board of View Family YMCA was very gracious in hosting us, and we had roughly around 10 vendors, or I should say community partners, that came and joined us to showcase some of their work and share some of the resources that they have available for the community. We were able to share with them our goals, our mission, and our committees, and from there we've been able to grow our membership, and so we're very proud of the ongoing work that we're doing, and the ability to have community partners like the Y to be able to host us in space, considering that we really don't have a physical home, because our home lives in schools and community spaces. And so we're very grateful for the group that you see in that image, and for Cynthia for always being so creative with ideas on how to get us all together and get the word out.
It's the free food.
We actually had so much food that day. We didn't expect that.
Good evening. My name is Raquel Marquez Maiden. I'm the Vice President of Advocacy for the California Charter Schools Association, but I'm here actually as a parent of a rising sixth grader at Vista Del Mar, and also a proud product of the San Ysidro School District that came to school here since preschool to 8th grade. My kindergarten teacher's here, and that's the dedication we have in this community, right? Retired, and she's still here, and Alice de la Torre also retired, she's still here. We're all part of this collaborative to make sure that our students are really successful at life, really, not just career, but also at life, making sure they have mental wellness and are healthy. I served on this board for 8 years. I had that privilege for 8 years. I ran right out of college. Had no idea what I was getting myself into, but I did it for 8 years, and I did it. And I'm here today just really proud because I get to share this information with you tonight of the wonderful things that are still happening in our community. And so I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Honoring Our Own Awards Gala. I'm supposed to stick to my notes because I'm only supposed to take a minute and a half, and people know that I get away with time, so sorry if I do. This event is actually co-hosted by the San Diego County School Board Association and AXA, and it celebrates the exceptional educational leaders across San Diego and Imperial County. This year, the San Ysidro Education Collaborative was recognized as a community champion.
Yeah.
Organizations making a lasting impact in our school communities. Former San Ysidro trustee and now current Sweetwater trustee Rudy Lopez encouraged us as a collaborative to apply, and with strong competition from 42 districts countywide, we were thrilled to be selected for this recognition. And this gala is more really than just awards, it's about our future. It is a portion of what's raised for this gala goes towards scholarships for students who want to pursue or aspire to pursue careers in education. And it really helps plant the seeds for the next generation of leaders in education. So we're really proud as a collaborative to have earned, and I get to show the party pictures, to have earned this award. It's very prestigious, it's very competitive. For many years, when I was on the San Diego County School Boards Association, for many years I always wanted San Ysidro to get the award, but because I was on the selection committees, I couldn't really put my 2 cents in, so I was being fair. And we applied this year, and I have to say that it's the first year that we even tried, and I think it's really obvious to the committee that selected that we're doing a really good job in San Ysidro, that we're doing a really good job in our collaborative, and that we have the heart to really help everyone in our community. And that's how I've felt for my entire life, being here in the community and knowing that this community raised me. This community is now raising my kids. I have like I said, a 6th grader and an 11th grader now that used to sit in this room with me when he was about a year old. I think he was newborn when I was sitting at that dais. And so knowing that the community has raised me and that this collaborative continues to raise the children in our community has been a true honor. And I want to thank you guys for the support that you provided and the means for us to continue doing the good work that we do.
All right,
and to finish things off, we wanted to share with you our vision. And our vision is an empowered San Ysidro community through education. Imagine that. We believe in it, that's why it's our vision, and that's why we're here. So once again, we are very proud to serve the San Ysidro School District, and we look forward to continuing our partnership and our support of students and families who we love so dearly. Thank you.
I have the honor to present a certificate. Certificate of Board Recognition. The following award is given to, and I will read what it says after the name. In recognition of your outstanding dedication, vision, and collaborative spirit as part of the San Ysidro Education Collaborative Leadership Team. Your exemplary leadership has strengthened partnership across education, business, government, and community organizations, creating via connections and expanding resources that uplift San Ysidro students, families, and community. Thank you, educational community. Thank you for your support.
Maybe say a few words.
Okay, let me tell you a little bit about how I got involved. I got an invitation when I was a principal of Will Elementary to this committee. And that's when it was at the Chamber of Commerce at that time. Walk in, and in the meeting, Ms. Nahuda asked, what can we do for you? And I took advantage of it. And that's how we started with the presentations for sixth graders. I needed the students to believe in a future, to have a dream. And I was very fortunate for Ms. Nahuda and the committee to provide a speaker on a monthly basis for sixth graders. Then, at that time, I had 7th and 8th graders at Willow. So the next thing is, what's next? Right, and that's how we started the internship. And it has been a very rewarding and blessing experience. And we have, in the course of the time, we have had parents going back to school because their kids went and talked to their parents about the different careers and what they wanted to do. And there's no words for me to say thank you to all of you because it's a job of love. And I really appreciate it. Thank you for all these years. I know it has been a few years and it continues. And the beauty is that we're all from this community for the great part. And then we have other excellent, great people who have joined the committee and have supported our students and families in our district. Thank you.
And now in your new position, Mr. Bohorquez, we need a lot of connections, so we're gonna take advantage of it.
I already got the instructions. Okay, so the next person, Veronica Medina, which is one of our staff, he couldn't make it today. Mr. Eric Meyer, if our board can, yell for a picture, Mr. Eric Meyer. Raquel made it. Alisa Chavero. Mr. Jose Mireles. Thank you. Ms. Wendy Messina. Ms. Cynthia Nagura. Sandy Jenny Valdivia, another member. Another member is Elaine Juan and Sarah Bourne. Thank you for your support. Let's give them a big round of applause. And definitely, most definitely, there's more things to come.
We'll put, the two board members can come on my side, and then we're gonna put the collaborative in the middle of the photo. So Put Cynthia in the middle. Leader in the middle.
Can we slide over a little bit this way?
Yeah, keep going that way. Okay, I think, and now they're all in the Cynthia and you're in the middle. All right, okay, I think that's squish. Are we, do you get all of us? Yeah?
We can make it work.
Count to 3 seconds, okay.
All right. Are we ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right. 3, 2, up. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and I'll do another one just in case. 3, 2, and 1. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Before we begin an open session public comment, I would like to inform the public that all translations will be conducted simultaneously today via headset. If any member of the public would like translation from English to Spanish or Spanish to English, please visit the translator's table to pick up a headset. Per board policy number 9323, each speaker may be allotted up to 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda item, or a total of 3 minutes for non-agenda comments. District labor organizations are allowed up to 5 minutes. If you are speaking in Spanish, you will also have 3 minutes as simultaneous translation is being provided. Other comments? Jennifer Ramirez,
Good evening, Madam President, board members, Superintendent, my name is Jennifer Ramirez, and I'm the founder and CEO of GenEd Enterprises. When I met Superintendent Dr. Gina Potter at AXA's Legislative Action Day, her passion was palpable. Her clarity, integrity, and vision reflected leadership that is not common. I left our conversation with one thought: we are aligned. Their 23-24 LCAP committed $14.69 million in supplemental and concentration funding to high needs learners. You didn't just meet the mark, you set it. But dollars don't transform systems on their own. That work belongs to infrastructure and intention. This is where GenEd comes in. We would like to extend to San Ysidro a no-cost pilot of our flagship system, IS3. The innovative student support system, a trauma-centered, legally grounded, and compliance-anchored system developed by a comprehensive team of educators, specialists, administrators, and advocates. We built this platform to reflect the real complexity of student support, not from the outside, but from within. IS3 connects general education, special education. Section 504, MTSS coordination and administration, wellness tracking, and real-time attendance reconnection through our Reengage module. Where other systems monitor, IS3 engages. Your team won't just track absences, they'll understand why students disengage and respond with clarity, compassion, and confidence. Our platform simplifies timelines, safeguards compliance, and strengthens the connection between staff and families. We offer this pilot to a select group of public districts to show the kind of leadership that we want to stand behind. When teams implement IS3 with Reengage, they don't just meet expectations, they unlock outcomes that restore funding, reduce risk, and reinforce trust. Strong systems generate strong returns, both financial and relational. We recognize, however, that even the best technology can't do this alone. At Gen Ed, we also support language, policy, and culture. We train teams on compassion, clarity, compliance, and community. Right now, some families feel unseen. Staff is overwhelmed. We know both sides because we've lived both sides. That's why I built Gen Ed, to serve as a bridge between systems, people, policy and practice, intention and outcome. At the heart of everything, what we build, how we train, what families feel is language. We've seen the term exceptional learners using district materials, and we recognize the care behind it. And I will say more next time. Thank you so much.
Roxanne Palestino, 3 minutes on item 9.2.
Good evening. My name is Roxanne Palestino, and I want to welcome Mr. Quintana as the new principal at La Mirada. We just hope you will put in place, not to intimidate local parents, but the real test is whether you will work with us, not against us. If you will respect our voices or ignore us like many others in this district. At La Mirada, we've been collecting signatures for dual language program, and we legally qualify. It's not an opinion, it's California state law. In 2016, Proposition 58 passed with overwhelming support. It overturned outdated restrictions on bilingual education and led to the passage of California Education Code 310 and 305. These laws clearly state, and yet we continue to misinform the community. Ms. Rosario, after years of claiming to support bilingual education at our last board meeting, told parents that we have to keep one school English only, which is false, and it's deeply disappointing. She's not the only one. Others in this administration have knowingly misled families, like Ms. English at the school site council meetings, either because they don't believe in our right to choose or because they think we won't push back. You guys say you represent us, but it looks more like you're representing district politics. Your seats are up in 2026, and the community will remember how you chose to protect systems instead of empowering parents. It will remember how instead of embracing change, you only talk about things from 30 years ago. Irrelevant. It's 2025. Thank you.
Item 12.1, Roxanne Palestino.
Okay, the adoption of the LCAP, for this plan to be meaningful, the district has to do a lot better since the beginning of the school year. We've asked for honest, clear communications and fair process when it comes to appointing members to our state-mandated parent committees. And what did we get? We got parents appointed in the final month of the school year just to check a box for compliance. Same individuals were chosen for multiple committees like school site council, ELAC, DLAC, EPAC, sometimes even representing 2 schools at once. And that's not outreach, that's not equity, it's closed-door process meant to keep real parent voice out, picking and choosing parents who are compliant only. And despite repeated public comments, these committees are still not live streamed or recorded, so most parents in the district can't even access them. Why the resistance? It's 2025 and access is vital. If you guys really want parents' voice, then educate the parents who serve on these committees, and the ones who don't either. Teach them how to bring forward action items, make meetings accessible and transparent, and stop recycling the same small circle of people who agree with the district leadership and call that input. You guys get to write the LCAP in a vacuum and then claim it reflects community engagement. We see what's happening, and we're done accepting surface level compliance. We want real inclusion, real transparency, real power in decision making.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Hi, Ms. Palestino. I was just wanting to clarify, was that 12.1 on the board agenda? 12.1 is the resolution to establish an annual special tax rate?
I think I already did 12.1, no?
Or 12.2? Do you think it? Let's see. Perhaps 12.3? Do you think perhaps that was that was for 12.3?
Isn't the problem with the MOU?
Ms. Palestino,
There's 1,168 pages of materials, it's kind of hard to, 72 hours is not enough. It's a lot of materials and then I don't know.
Ms. Palestino, would you be okay if we apply the statement you just made to 12.3, board policies? The one that you said was 12.1.
I have a comment for 12.3 as well, that's a different.
That's the next, okay, how about we could apply it to, we'll just make it a general comment, would that be okay?
Yeah.
To the agenda.
Now we're on 12.3.
Okay. The MOU with the county for alternative programs can be helpful, but only when they're used correctly, not as an easy way to remove students from the classrooms without providing real support. Before approving this MOU, I hope that the board can answer how many students are referred to these programs each year. Are parents informed and involved in that decision-making process? What interventions happen before a student is pushed out of their school? And mental health support are still severely underfunded. When parents ask for help, they say they don't have space. We're constantly told there's no money, we're short-staffed, or we're doing the best we can. But when it comes to insiders, there's always a way, always a workaround, always room for budget. Se pasan el hueso y se lo comen entre ellos. This isn't just bad optics, it's harmful and it's eroding what little trust in the community still has left. How much is this contract worth? Are they collecting from, how many special ed classrooms could that money be supporting instead? I hope you guys start putting families first and stop recycling the same names and playing the same political games. And if you want to prove us wrong, be transparent about every contract, every role, and every dollar. That was 12.5?
12.3.
Oh yeah, 12.3.
Ms. Palestino, you referenced the contract, agenda item 12.3 is board policies. Can you name the contract that I can find the agenda item? The name of the MOU? Thank you.
There might be a reference to 12.5, I'm not necessarily this.
Can I just move on to the 12.5?
12.5.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
okay. So this one, you guys retire, then come back as a coach, a consultant, temporary administrator, and you collect a second check while claiming there's no money for things that actually matter. Another example, Ms. Manuela Colon is already retired and collecting a public pension, and now she's back, being hired again with district funds. And that's not all, let's be honest, if she's also receiving money from Sci-Fi, the nonprofit she helped create, is that 3 checks? One from retirement, one from the district, and one from a nonprofit that claims to serve the same students this district. How is that okay? Is that ethical? Meanwhile, special education classrooms go weeks without assigned aides. Parents are excluded from decision-making spaces. Dual language programs are being blocked even when the law says we qualify. The budget does not reflect the priorities of the families and students it's supposed to serve. Instead of investing in special education, dual language programs, mental health services, real parent engagement and training, translating school board agendas, which I saw you guys did, but I don't think the materials are translated yet, but thank you. The district continues to waste money in all the wrong places. We cut corners when it comes to classrooms, but somehow there's always enough money to rehire retired district personnel who was already collecting pensions. Mr. Russell Little and Manuela Colon are just 2 examples. They're double dipping, collecting retirement and a district paycheck, while we're still begging for more para-educators and family supports. Meanwhile, parents are still being left out of decision-making. Committee meetings still aren't being live streamed. Parents' voices are ignored. There's no funding set aside for true family outreach or training. Until you stop recycling the same insiders and start investing in the people you're supposed to serve, the district will continue to fail the public it's funded by. The last one will be 13E.13. 13E. Okay, my name is Roxanne Palestino and I'm here to speak on item 13E, yet another contract with a non-public agency, this time with SPG Therapy and Education. It's a pattern, speech, tutoring, behavior services after service being contracted out of strangers who rotate in and out of our students' lives. No consistency, no connection to the school sites, no long-term investment. This is crucial. I see what a dedicated speech pathologist can do to change a child's life, and how many kids are non-verbal nowadays. All of it paid from the special education fund. The same funds we're told to stretch thin when parents ask for proper support. Why is the district still outsourcing speech therapy instead of hiring in-house speech pathologists who are part of the school community? Why aren't we investing in building a strong special education department with staff who know our students and stay for the long term? Every time you approve one of these contracts, you're admitting you failed to plan ahead, recruit, and retain the professionals our children need. Our kids deserve better, and strangers on a rotating schedule and generic services from outside companies. Let's stop wasting money on patchwork contracts and start investing in people who will stay and serve our kids with consistency, care, and commitment.
Alice de la Torre, San Ysidro Women's Club. The structure of the club.
Good evening, board members and Dr. Potter. I'm here to share with you the structure of the Women's Club. You've heard a lot about San Ysidro Women's Club. We're just one of 200 clubs in California. As you see by the map, we have sections or the areas all in California, and there are 10,000 members just in California. And the structure is, all the clubs in California are under the California Federation of Women's Clubs. And then there's a larger federation called the General Federation of Women's Clubs. That's women's clubs throughout the United States. So California is a very powerful state because we have many members. We have over almost 2,500 members in total in all of California. And as you look down, you see at the very bottom of the map is San Diego and Imperial Valley. In San Diego alone, there's 500 members. In our little club, we have 40 members. And you would ask, who are all these other members? They're in other clubs, and the clubs that they're in are El Cajon, Chula Vista, San Diego, Claremont, Coronado, National City, Imperial Beach, Pacific Beach, San Ysidro, of course, that's our club, Lakeside, Bonita, Sweetwater, La Mesa, and Lemon Grove. Those are all the clubs in what's called the Southern District. If we have given any information to the state, we always say we're Southern District and we're area, in the Southern District, we belong to Area D, which is the Southern District area, and we're in the section called Section 1. I think we're one of the first, not that we're the first in California, but we started in 1915. We're very, very solid. Okay, you might ask, well, how did the women's club even get started? It gets started in the 1800s. In the 1860s, a lady by the name of Jane Cunningham Coyle, she was a journalist. She wanted to go to a press conference meeting, and she was denied. You can't come because you're a woman. And at that time, she said, I'm going to start a club of my own. So she started this women's club, and it got bigger and bigger, and now we're all through the United States, and we have a very powerful footprint here in San Ysidro, of course, because we're given a footprint of 1950, and that's the end of my report. Thank you. So we're very powerful. Thank you.
Mary Davis, Libertarian Public Comment, non-agenda.
I learned a lot. I understand if that's okay. Hi, Mary Davis, and I'm the first time in your chamber here. I am actually a government watchdog. I go through the county, especially I specialize in school boards. So I have a lot of, I would say expertise, but just nuggets of knowledge stored away and compare and contrast to other districts. So I just wanted to highlight some of the things now that I have some time for your district. First of all, your agenda, almost 1,100 pages. So if it's going to be anything, I would say even over 500 to allow more time, and maybe make that a 7-day policy that, you know, for large agendas get more time. Also, what would be helpful would be hyperlinks. The way Sandag does it, they have their agenda packet, and then they have like the whole supporting, but they include the agenda at the beginning, and then they have, you can link down to it, and so it would be very helpful to jump to that and not have to be so much 1,100 page scrolling. One other thing I wanted to say, I was reviewing meetings from last time, and it really jumped out at me was the new board policy or bylaw 9200. And I was very concerned about that for several reasons. First of all, it seemed onerous, overly restrictive. It did not seem to align with other districts. There was a gentleman who came up and spoke in response to it. I don't know if he was a staff member or an attorney. That would be helpful too, also to have a policy that people identify themselves at the mic when they start speaking. And he said it wasn't restrictive and it aligned with other districts, but I did some comparisons and it in fact did not align at all with many, many districts. I didn't find one that was that restrictive.
I bring this up to you because I've seen two other districts, one in East County and one in North County, that both tried to rein in board members that asked questions. And one was in East County, they spent over $1 million on travel. And the board member objected to that, and they came down on her when she had a righteous cause. Another one was in North County just recently, where the board president actually tried to kind of maneuver $3 million. And luckily, she had an ethical board. And even though the watchdog on the board was not in majority, the ethical people cited whether they had to hold a special meeting. I also say the conflict of interest, that board member makes $4,800 a year as a school board representative, but she makes over $200,000 as a teachers union public benefits rep. So where does her loyalty lie? So I'm really asking you, please don't come down on the watchdogs. There's a need for them, and if you come down on the people that are asking questions, it actually looks like you have something to cover up. And so I would invite critique and dissent and welcome it. And the way to do it is not to get rid of the person that you're complaining about. It's actually to be as transparent as you can so that there's no room for doubt and no questions. So thank you so much.
You have a request for item 12.1.
Yes, also, so I wasn't sure how this works, I'll just do everything up here. Yeah, I just had a question, and again, because there wasn't a lot of supporting documents with this, but I was concerned about it going from disabilities to exceptional needs, and I wasn't clear if that was like a state mandate, if the whole education industry is changing it, if it's specific to your district. My concern was that it becomes more restrictive. Does that limit the amount of services or who would be eligible? And so really, why are they making the change? Does it align with both state and federal? Because we're seeing more and more issues where there's a conflict on many issues. And so I just am worried about alignment, loss of any kind of funding, and also an explanation of why that change would need, and then assurances to the parents of the special needs or disability or exceptional needs students that it would not mean a change in the services to their students, because that's kind of my interpretation. Maybe it's a gateway to restrict services, just because there's no explanation given. So thank you so much.
Now we will have public comments from our board and superintendent. And I will call on Kenya Pedasa first.
Hey, thank you again, President, for putting me first. So I know we're on a break, but we still did attend to one event. So I went to the last day and presentation of the ESY program. For those who don't know, ESY is the extended school year. This is for students with an IEP. My son is also one of them. And I was very happy to see the presentation and everything that turned out from that particular 3 weeks of ESY. The theme was Asian culture, if I'm not mistaken. And when I saw all the kids doing all of this artwork and also that they were learning about Asian cultures, and they did so much. I was very impressed with everything that they did in 3 weeks, how they learn about history. And my son came to home with a huge package of things that they did. So I was very happy about that. And it's very important for parents to know and to keep in mind that this program is very helpful for certain students with IEP. It's very important for parents to keep it in mind. And also because it does help certain students with an IEP. I was also, this is not from the school district, but yesterday I was at the San Ysidro Community Planning Group, meeting. There was a presentation going on about a new development that is going on here in the city of San Ysidro, which is the Bayer Boulevard Transit Village that is for affordable apartment community. It's gonna be built it's still not a fact, but it will probably be built next to a trolley station down here in Bayer. And I just wanted to say that our community is not happy about that. And as my individual perspective, I also support what the community is saying. And from a different manner, I have 3 formal requests to make in public. And I also want to say this is a month in advance request, since the new policies request at least 2 weeks in advance. So I'm making a 1 month advance. And so the first one is about, well, first of all, I respectfully ask that this request and your response is please to be shared in public with the community. And you will get my email tonight regarding this same request and statement. This request is about the Bayer Community Resource Center, a project being funded through Measure T and U, which were approved by voters on March 3rd, 2020. I am specifically requesting community data that was recollected in support or agreement of building the Bayer Community Resource Center in the same area where Bayer Elementary School was demolished in 2012, and where the community was promised to have a school rebuilt. Any records that showed that the public was informed or agreed to the change from a school to a community resource center, I will appreciate that kind of document, and also documentation showing how the community engagement process influenced this outcome, especially since it has to come to my attention that a consultant was hired to conduct public input for the long-range master facility plan, or as we call it, LRFMV. And then, I'm gonna quote a little bit from Measure T and Measure U. Measure T says to make student safety in school, this is what appeared on the ballot for voters to vote on, yes or no. And the Measure T, it quotes that it was gonna be to make student safety and school security improvements, upgrade classroom technology, and construct, rehabilitate, acquire, equip, and furnish classrooms and school facilities. Measure U also said to reconstruct or replace roofs and plumbing, and construct, rehabilitate, replace, acquire, equip, and furnish classrooms and school facilities. So this language is very vague and does not clearly inform the voter of what they're approving. Nowhere does it say that a Bayer Community Resource Center will be built, especially not in the place of the elementary schools that the community has been waiting to have restored for over a decade. Yet, plans for the Bayer Community Resource Center were moving forward by 2021. And as of May 22, for agenda from this year, contracts and planning updates are being approved using bond funding. If there's a community data showing that this specific project was understood and supported by the public prior to the vote, it should be made available. If not, it raises serious concerns about clarity and voter understanding. Thank you for processing this request under the California Public Records Act and for ensuring the public is fully informed. please, Dr. Power, if you can put the request on record, I will appreciate it. For my second request, I want to propose an item in the next agenda for August 14, public meeting, with the name of Exploring Charter Schools Options to Expand Educational Opportunity in San Ysidro. Yes, you heard it correctly. So, President, Superintendent, and fellow trustees, I am formally requesting that the following item be placed on our August 14 board meeting agenda. Exploring charter schools options to expand educational opportunities in San Ysidro. This item proposed that our district begin a structured public-facing review of whether charter schools could serve as a high-quality educational option for our families, especially those seeking innovation, equity, and choice. The California Department of Education, in both policy and practice, strongly supports this direction. Educational Code 47601 states, "The intent of charter schools is to," and I quote, "improve pupil learning, expand learning opportunities, especially for low-achieving students, and increase parental choice in public education." In addition, the CDE Charter Schools Division actively promotes the development of high-quality charter schools to improve outcome and provide alternatives where traditional models may not be enough. Despite neighbors districts like Chula Vista and Imperial Beach authorizing successful charter programs, San Ysidro currently has no charter options in our own boundaries. Given our community academic recovery needs and the high population of English learners, this is a gap worth exploring. I also want to highlight something very important. In the current climate, as new district initiatives are being launched, it's our responsibility to consider options that voters and families may prefer. A charter pathway could offer a community-supported alternative that complements our existing system without displacing it. This item is not about approving a school tonight. It's about starting a transparent, staff-guided process with input from the County Office of Education and full public engagement. In compliance with our new policy on agenda item proposals, I will provide a complete research packet after this meeting, including data state dashboard performance comparisons and CDE charter guidelines. I respectfully ask that this item to be placed on the August 14 of 2025 agenda, so we can take the first step toward bringing real parent-driven innovation into San Ysidro. And for my last request, also for another agenda item request, again for the August 14, 2025 meeting, a proposal for earlier access to board agendas and materials. I'd like to propose that board members receive board agendas and materials earlier than the minimum 72-hour posting requirement. Ideally, several days in advance, even if it's just a draft version at first. If the final version is ready sooner, that's even better. But if not, a draft will still help us begin our review and preparation. Other districts like Chula Vista have a process where they get a draft on Friday, the final is posted on Sunday, and their meeting is held after the 72-hour window. That gives their board members more time to read, understand, and research the materials. Today's package was over 1,185 pages. That's not reasonable to fully digest in under 72 hours for the sake of making informed decisions. I think this is a fair and collaborative step we can take together. I'm asking that this item to be added in the agenda for discussion and possible action. Thank you. And yes, that's all.
Mr. Arias?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you're all enjoying your summer break. Firstly, I know Mr. Quintana is gone now, but I wanted to congratulate him on the new principalship at La Mirada. I know he's going to do very well there, and I'm looking forward to seeing his leadership there. The other thing is, I wanted to congratulate the San Ysidro Education Collaborative. I think that I gotta tell you, I think it's a great program, and the work that you are doing with our kids is amazing. And through that, actually, I wanted to also highlight something that has always been apparent to me, but today was really just highlighted. And it's the interconnectedness of the San Ysidro community. And I say that because Gabby Milan and I just recently graduated from the Chicano Federation's Latino Leadership Institute. And, you know, being able to do that work at the Leadership Academy and then seeing the work being done in the community, I think is very fruitful. I saw Wendy Messina here as well. I am a board member at the YMCA, at the Board Review YMCA, and I think that's also another point of interconnectedness. And then Raquel Madden, so 12 years ago and many hairs ago, I had the opportunity. Yeah, too many to count, really. And I had the opportunity to meet Raquel through an internship opportunity that I was given, and to see her still thriving and pushing through in the community, and for me to be in the position that I am today, I think shows really the type of leadership that is being fostered through generations. And so with that, you know, I wanted to highlight the fact that the community is really interconnected here. We are all here for one cause, and that's prosperity. That's to make San Ysidro thrive. And I really appreciate you all being here, especially during summer break. So thank you.
It's amazing. Rita?
Oh my goodness, I just want to say welcome to all our staff who was off. Those of you who were able to take it easy. Those of you still here. For the summer break, I think it was a good opportunity for them to come back fresh and ready to begin this new school year. And we've accomplished a lot of things. And I was thinking right now, what Alice de la Torre from the Women's Club, I joined the Women's Club because a teacher in our school district, when I went to Sunset, I left to go graduate to Southwest Junior. She called me when I was already out of high school and I was going to Southwestern College, and she wanted to let me know that she was older and she was part of the Women's Club at that time for Little Landers that began in San Ysidro. And she asked me, I want you to come and join the Women's Club because me and my other young ladies are too old now. That's very hard. That lady was a teacher at Sunset School for many years. And even my brothers and sisters had her as a teacher. But she brought something that I'll never forget, seeing my brother dress for the 16th of September. And she would fix her yard with colorful flowers and decorations. And he would love to dance Árabe Tapatío, which is in our culture. I remember seeing him with the sash and the hat and all that. He loved it, he loved it. And not only him, my sister and my other brother also. So she brought a lot of good things in our community. And I remember I learned to square dance in the 5th grade there at Sunset. And she brought that also to our community. But when she asked me, she said, I want you, and you have come to our schools, you're from our community, I want to see more of you young people in our women's club. So I did join. And there was other girls that were a little older than me, not very much, but they all joined. So I think of what, her dream was, and that teacher was very smart. She was already 86, and she could read and take memories. Oh, on this date, this happened. she always knew everything like that, and I thought, gee, I hope when I'm her age, I'll be able to remember all that she remembers. You know, she didn't have a lot of history, and that's what she taught us, but I see now the Women's Club, how it's grown, how the dream of Ms. Kojima came true for many years, the 25 years of the Teddy Bear Drive, and seeing our kids in our community, you know, where the whole community, the schools, donated bears or just money, even for the food drive that we used to do before. Now it's gotten over, you can't feed everybody, but things that the Women's Club did do and continues to do is something beautiful and nice to see. And my grandchildren got to go through that, having the first teddy bear that they liked and enjoyed. And I see the faces of our other children that go, and it's beautiful to see that, because some of those children don't get that at all. So it's very nice to see that. I respect them for it, and my heart goes out to the whole committee of the Women's Club, because they have been here and have done so many things for us, and not only for our kids, for our community. And just like now, with the community educational group, when you brought that group for the funding to help parents, I heard from the parents, they liked it, and they thought they never would be able to be involved, and I said, keep going, don't let go, keep doing it, and bring more people. So I think that's a very good opportunity, and this year, I think he's gone from the Fleet Center. I remember I went when my grandson was in the 5th grade. There was an opportunity when they came to San Ysidro, and we went for a trip. They took us on the bus, and we went to the Fleet Center, and my grandson, my granddaughter, was the first time they'd ever been there. And it was a beautiful opportunity, and we came back late, but they were so excited that they got to see all the things. I think that's what our kids need, and I thank them, because they've done a lot of good things for our community, for our children, and they continue now joining with not only our sci-fi, but making these events. As you can see, 2,000 something people were there. It was beautiful. And it's something that always will remain with us in San Ysidro. And I know that our parents that come and are involved with our community, respect what we have, and want to have their kids here. But I want to say thank you to everybody, because it's an opportunity for San Ysidro that nobody thought we would get here. And I know that a lot of you don't know the history or may not know what we went through many years back. We lost fire school, not only because of the money, because of the plans they wanted to do. And yes, they did tell the community that they would promise to build a fire elementary. The point is, if they would have left one wall up, the state would have helped us to build it, but otherwise, they turned the whole thing down. There was no way we were gonna get funding for it. And many of us, like me, I thought, wow, I went there. I would like to have been there also, or have the fire come back, but it was a dream we all thought we would be able to have, but we weren't able to. But that's in the past, but there's other things that are being brought, and, you know, it hurts me in this way. I see one or two parents, special ed, and when I ask them, when I see them in different parts of the schools, why don't you come and tell us the problems that you have? And you know what they tell me? Why am I gonna make it public? It's my life with my kids, and if I have a problem, I'm gonna use the procedure that you have. I go to my principal or the teacher, I complain. If I don't get an answer, I'm going to your district office. And I know it. He says, I know that's my right as a parent. And I felt good, because I thought, okay, they do know. And I think that that's the most important thing. It's not that we're not perfect, it's not that we are not perfect, but we do listen. We do ask that it be looked into. And the other point is that parents tell me they don't want to be involved because they're embarrassed when they go to meetings and they have people taking pictures or, you know, recording, and they ask us things and they say, we don't like that, and I don't want to be involved with that. I want to go because I want to be involved with my child at the school in the meetings with the principals or with the groups that they have, school site council, ELAP. But there's always groups that are not taking us in consideration. It's only certain people, but it's not us and it's not me. So I told him, that's what I wanted to hear the truth from you, because I know you have your kids in special ed. And I know you're a parent that's been here in the community and know that right now, not only are we struggling, so are other districts in getting staff with education, but with credentials for special ed. And that's what people don't see. They don't see it. They want us to bring this, they want to, if we don't have the money or the people, and if now, if I hear it from the parents, this is what causes me to feel bad, because I think it's not true all, but you have the right to come and complain, yes. But do you ever stop and think that there are laws, state and federal, that we have to follow? Not only that, it takes money in order for investigating. We don't just make a decision because you say, or somebody else says, no, we're not gonna do it, we're gonna, no. There's procedures we have to follow. And that's what hurts me. To hear these people come, you have a right, yes, as a parent. But when I see a parent come up with a heart, with respect, coming out to ask for help, I know that there's something wrong there. And it's our obligation, and I know the rest of the board feels the same way. We do ask, we do say, you need to investigate and let us know, and give us the feedback. But also I wanted to say that shouldn't keep us from still working together as a family we are, because we are. We're here day and night sometimes working. Administrators, management, Dr. Carter lives here. She's always here, day and night, and in the morning, at 6 in the morning, she's already up and going on, but, you know, it's not easy, but I know that we have been able to show the district, not only the district, but county, you know, these awards that we've gotten, these people that have received it have worked very hard because they have a heart for San Ysidro. And the heart is there, and nobody can take that away from us. And it's really a pride that I feel, that I can say, yes, I'm from San Ysidro. Where before, you said it and they went, oh God, you know, turn around and go somewhere else. But now, no, I say, yeah, I'm from San Ysidro, why? And they ask, how have you guys done it with STEM? How have you done it with the testing? Well, I go, it's not easy. I go, it takes time, but you know what? We have people who work in our district that have a heart and they know our community. They know what we're struggling with because they have a heart. And I want to thank you for that. And thank you for continuing to support the board in much ways that we're not perfect, but we're trying, and it's not easy. But it's something that I've learned, and I've been on since 2016. Yeah, I'm an old lady on the board. But you know what? I love it because I love being involved. I love speaking and learning all at the same time. That's the whole point of listening, sharing, but respecting each other and learning from them. That's the whole point. And you won't get it from just a regular parent. Sometimes those parents are very educated and know. And they know what's right and what's wrong. You get it from a person who has a heart for education and a heart for our community and our children. So everyone that's here, I know that we're not perfect, but you know what? Thank you for what you've come up and told us and asked and shared with us. I want to thank you, because that makes me even more proud that we are on the right track. And maybe our dream for Byron Elementary didn't come true, but there's other things that have changed our community, the need and the room and the cost of what it is. And it's not, you know, with everything else that's coming around with new laws, new requirements and taking away funding, that's another thing that's gonna hurt us because we're a smaller district. But I see it with other districts and they're telling me the same things. You know, people are leaving because they can't afford to stay here. So I just wanna say thank you to all of you, because we have made a good achievement, a good start, and I feel proud of being a San Ysidro school board and for being a resident and a taxpayer here. But also because I learned from you that have been here, you that showed us and gave us that ability to understand more things. And legally, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, I'll be brief, everyone, because I know it's all ready to continue to enjoy our summer break. So the first thing I want to just thank is the San Ysidro Education Collaborative for everything they've done. You know, Gabby, I see this beautiful flyer that you created, and obviously for me it brings back a lot of emotions because I remember when the collaborative was just me, Cynthia, and Daniel Aguirre, who, I don't know what he's doing now, but he was involved, and we were meeting with Mauricio Torre to try to bring a grant, the Promised Neighborhood Grants, to San Ysidro schools and the community. And I remember when he met with us, I was always in the case that, and Irene's right, back then, it would always be the case where we would mention San Ysidro School District and everybody would cringe, including him. And I let him know that bottom line is, independent of what's happened in the past, we have good people here, community members that are willing to get involved, and more importantly, we're gonna thrive. And for me, seeing this beautiful flyer, not just of all the beautiful pictures, everything that you've done, the fact that you, and let me emphasize this because I think it's important. Every single member of the San Ysidro Education Collaborative is a volunteer. No one's getting paid to do that extra work. So the bottom line is, when I see all of you here today, and when I see all the accomplishments, sending our kids to different types of collaborative meetings and having them participate in job fairs and looking at, going to Las Americas and experience that career opportunity, those career opportunities. For me, you're just giving our kids more tools for them to know and to have in mind so that when they graduate from here, they're gonna have that under their belt so they can succeed. And that's the goal. We wanna make sure every child in this district has the opportunity to succeed. So that when they graduate from high school and they graduate from college, if they choose to go to college, they can come back to the community and say, I'm proud to be a resident here. And I'm proud to make sure that all the generations to come are gonna have that same quality education of success. So I just wanna applaud the San Ysidro Education Collaborative. I wanna applaud the San Ysidro Women's Club who are also here. In fact, a lot of you are pretty much the same group. But I just wanna say thank you and a round of applause. And frankly, we've been in many different things, like planning group meetings, recreation council meetings. We've been involved in many different things, but I just want to say that it's all been a labor of love, and these are the results. These are the beautiful results. And just even seeing the committees, it was a hassle just to get the Education Collaborative started. And now seeing that each and every one of these committees meets regularly, and it's been consistent since 2013. I think I actually was involved until maybe 2018, give or take 2019. But for me, knowing that it's there, it's something that we helped start, and it's something that's thriving, and it's only gonna get better from there, because people are gonna see it, especially now that we're awarded county-wide. You kidding me? It's gonna be just success all the way. So I just wanna say thank you, everyone. Mrs. Chavarin and Gabby, everybody who is involved, and I just wanna say, let's continue the good work. And on that note, I know I said it will be brief. I'm really looking forward to the start of the school year, so each and every one of you, it seems like it was just yesterday we were graduating, now we're gonna get started very soon. But I just wanna say, let's get ready for that, really eager to get involved, and more importantly, to attend the first day back with the teachers and staff. And then the last thing I'll say is I wanna give a big round of applause to my dear friend Miguel, who created this beautiful new logo for us. Every year we choose a theme. Every year we choose a theme, and it's kind of a hassle because we try to go back and forth. But I think we all came to the conclusion that the scholar theme, academic book theme, and what I heard, Miguel, is that you made this in 30 minutes or an hour. I'm gonna say just thank you because it looks gorgeous, it matches our colors, and it fits everything. We're gonna be proud to start this new school year with this theme. And on that note, I just want to add, and it's more of an ask to our admin team. So the Trump administration just passed the quote, big beautiful bill. Don't know how that's gonna impact us financially, but I'd like to submit a request to see how much federal dollars are gonna be withheld. Not just in the future, but now. I think he made an executive order. I was talking with some friends in San Diego Unified and in other school districts that money's already being withheld, perhaps illegally already from school districts. And I wanna make sure we're prepared to know how much is being withheld from us now and how much is gonna be withheld with this new quote, big, beautiful, ugly bill. So I just wanna ask that request to our admin team, and then we prepare accordingly. I did mention last time that I find it outrageous that one of the proposals is to make sure that one of the things that are cut are the free school lunch programs for the kids. The fact that our kids have that main source as their main meal a day, the fact that our kids are transitionally homeless, and the fact that that is what they're proposing to cut, I find that disgusting and outrageous. So I just want to say, if that's part of what's being withheld, Dr. Potter, let's find a way and we'll work together to ensure that our kids at least find a proper way to get their main meal a day, and all our kids are fed and free. So I just want to say that, and again, thank you for being here today.
I also will try to be brief. I want to thank the group, the collaborative group and the Women's Club for your presentation this evening. You probably could have hours and hours of presentation to just share everything that you've done for our community, but really people who live here and know for years and years your contributions to this community, it's out there, everybody knows. And we just thank you over and over. We, as a district, cannot survive alone. We need the connections, the collaboration, the community. It's a commitment, but this is what's so special. This is what made me stay here. Because I had a job offer back in East Los Angeles, where I grew up. The principal at La Mirada at the time, from Friday to Monday, she says, we have a job opening. This was March. It's the end of the year. It's not going to be easy. But we need you to just finish the year, and then if you need to go back home to LA, then do it. But all it took were people who showed me that they were willing to support me. Gloria Bermea, one of the most amazing educators in San Ysidro. And it's so sad because now we're like older, and she says, hey, if I die before you, this is what I want you to say. What if I go before you? Doesn't mean just because they're older. So those conversations are real because we spend a lot of time together exercising to try to live longer. But going back to, I really wish somebody, a historian, could write the history of San Ysidro's educational system, because it would really explain a lot of things to people who really have misinformation or are sharing misinformation. I really truly don't care if people defame my character because I know who I am. And this community knows who I am. And the minute somebody posts something very negative to defame me as an educator over almost 40 years, who truly cares about kids, you all know all the advocacy I fought for years and years. And that shouldn't bother me, but it bothers me when people don't have the information correct. And we're not going to go back to those days. There are things that happened in the past that we don't ever want to report. And having a superintendent for 7 years, it represents stability. Yes. And if you don't know the history of superintendents, when I was studying to be an administrator, my first assignment was go and interview at least 5 superintendents and watch around their office. They always have a suitcase right next to them. Because most likely, the board is going to turn around and say, we don't want you anymore, goodbye. Or something terrible happens, like the history in our district, and I'm not going to share it, you would have to read it. When it's written by educational historian. But this is stability. And the only other time I can remember stability was when Grace Kojima was our superintendent. And prior to that, I know Irene is the only one because I came in when he was ready to retire, 18 years, Mr. Colbert. I came in during his last year as superintendent. So what I want to say is, it's easy to come up here and think that we're doing everything wrong, but I see the hard-working individuals, the administration, the cabinet. We all know each other like family. The principals, you all should be still resting because it's going to be a tough year because of the federal funding that's going to be packed like we've never ever seen before. But yet you're going to go into your schools on that very first day and you're going to welcome your students as the scholar that they are, the scholar that we believe in, los académicos, because we believe in our students. If we didn't, this district would be what it was a few years in the early 80s and in the 2000s. And I lived all that, along with many, many people who are sitting here and administrators. Everybody said this door was the example. These are a revolving door. Everybody went in, came out, went out the other door, and then we had to find somebody else. And I know it sounds funny, but you know, Alice, because you were the HR person. And you did a great job hiring all the teachers. It was a revolving door, which has not happened in 7 years. People think 7 years is bad luck, it's good luck. And I have people sending me emails and messages from all over the state of California, because I know a lot of people across the state, because I've served in many other committees, and they say, we're so proud of the stability in San Ysidro. The parents, I just had my doorbell yesterday, somebody rang my doorbell, I opened the door, and this young gentleman says, "Hi, Ms. Rosario, you recognize me?" And I'm like, well, you take off your sunglasses, because if I was your teacher, I had you in kindergarten, sharing them. He takes off his glasses, and thank the Lord, he reminded me his name. And I said, "Joel, how are you?" He says, "I'm a great, successful real estate agent." I know you don't want to sell your house, but I don't want to sell my house. So I'm very proud of you. So he, I think he really wanted to come and show me, like, thank you, because San Ysidro really, was the beginning of where I am today. What I want to say about scholars, thinking of our children, every child is a scholar. And if we think every day and believe in that, and we stop putting obstacles and saying we're doing everything wrong, they are going to be successful. There is a huge history of dual language, and I'm not going to get into it right now, but there was a time where within 24 hours we were not going to have no Spanish spoken, nowhere or anywhere in this district. And that was in 227. 227 was another nightmare. So we really are, we have a lot of work ahead. We have a lot of opportunities to learn and work together. But when you look at the reality, there's so much for us to do as we open up the new school year. 13 days for teachers. And I know there's like, I don't want to know, because we want to come back, but there is this thing called getting your energy back. It is real for everyone, anyone, even parents. And I know the parents want, when is school going to start, right? I have grandchildren I take care of. And they're even saying, "Nana, let's start playing school." We started 3 weeks ago because they were so bored, and they said, "Let's do school." Okay? Every morning for 3 hours, we're going to do school. So I'm a little red school teacher. I'm teaching the 9th grader, I'm teaching the 2nd grader, and I'm teaching the 6th grader. And it's not easy, but we're doing that because they want to go back to school. Kids are waiting for us to open those doors, to welcome them, to believe in them. When Alice read the careers of the students who won the scholarships, they were almost all in the STEM field. And that's the future. And the future, there's still careers we don't even know. And yet, this is our job, our duty, our passion is to get the children ready with the collaboration of the district, the teachers, the children, and it always means the parents do not believe we have undermined the importance of parents. They know, the parents know that we truly care about them. And yes, maybe we need to welcome them in a way where they know they never have to be afraid to ask what they want for us to do for them. And I'm thinking about the collaborative community when you say, what can we do for you? And he had a long list. We have this, and there are just so many ways. And so I think the more positive we are when we go into these meetings with parents and communities and our schools, let's find a way for us to work with the schools instead of attack every little thing we feel is wrong, because we're never going to move anywhere. And I have to attribute my success as an educator was to always be transparent with the parents. If there were new ways of teaching children, then I made sure they understood it, because they would be like, no, but this is the way we used to add. In Mexico, they used to do it like this, mental math, and we said, here it's all manipulatives, because we really want the kid to get it, to understand. And so there are so many ways for us to continue what we do best. Making the district, historically we are on the books for this district that was about to drown and be taken over by the state. That's not anything we want to wear on our history books. But when you have stability means having a superintendent who really understands leadership, and a cabinet, and principals, vice principals, people like Miguel and Monica, our tech. There's so many, and I don't want to forget anybody, but thank you to all. So it's really heartbreaking when you think that 811 million, I can't even fathom how much money that is. I don't think I'll ever even see something like that in my lifetime. But to think that 6.8 billion of that federal funds affect California. And yes, it's going to affect our district in a huge way. It's not going to be, wow, it's okay, we're just small. It's going to affect us. And instead of getting angry and stressed out with each other, let's find ways, because those kids need to eat every single time they come to school. Our kids need the support. Our language learners, I remember it used to be called English as a second language, remember that? And then limited English speakers. I mean, we had kids who were speaking English very well, but they couldn't pass a darn test. So they were limited. I was so happy when they finally said, that our kids were, I'm blanking out right here.
Multilingual.
Yeah, multilingual, because I know that was the new. So, we went to go with the times. And what's important, multilingualism is very important. And that includes sign language. That includes sign language, which is very, very important. So when I think about how much we've grown, I think California is ahead when it comes to education, and New York. But my understanding is, the potential in California, you can go anywhere and get a teaching job. But that doesn't mean the same if somebody comes here from another state, and you ask my best friend Gloria. She was an amazing, assistant superintendent in Texas. She came to San Ysidro, and she still had to go back and take courses because her credential in Texas didn't cut it. Right? But if I went to Texas, they'd hire me in a heartbeat. So it's really important to stay focused on what's important. San Ysidro School District is an excellent school district. And you can quote me or defame my character however you want. I wouldn't be here. I would have retired and gone back home to my parents. But I love this community. I love running into my former students. I love collaborating with my colleagues, and even my colleagues who are teachers, professors at San Diego State. My best friend that we speak every single day. The ladies, the women of the Women's Club, and the principals, every single one of you, I admire you. It's not easy. I was a principal for 1 year. I said, I'm out the door. because at that time the superintendent was not allowing me to go into the classrooms to read to children. He says, that's not your job anymore. And I said, but I want to read to them. I want to read every day. He says, that's not your job anymore. So I said, well, then find somebody at the end of the year because I'm going back to the classroom. He didn't think I was serious. I was so serious. And I finished my career as an educator, as a teacher, which I'm very proud of. So I just want to thank all of you. I said it was going to make it short, and I just couldn't, because there are things that do worry me. And a lot of things are going to affect our community. And I've been seeing a lot of commercials about toxic stress. I really think we're going to go back to the worries we had at the beginning of the pandemic, and we have to emphasize mental health and support is going to be critical. Because there's a lot of negative things happening in our world, so we need to not shield our children from the reality, but not focus it, and focus on the fact that they are our scholars, our academics, and we are here to support their education every moment of the day that they are at school and beyond, not just school, but beyond. And I know the parents of this community know that. They truly, truly know that. I don't have time to write the history yet, but I may have to be that historian, so people get it. This place is a great place for children to learn. Y es todo lo que tengo que decir. No somos ornamentos. We're not ornaments.
Dr. Potter, just please don't say you're gonna be brief.
I also don't tell my husband I have a lot of hair. I love him. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know that I will be brief, but I'll just want to say first and foremost, I hope you all had a wonderful summer and a restful summer to just spend time with your families. Every day I realize that life is very, very short. And I think about my own family members, and even today I think about some of our work family members here in Ysidro, and how difficult it is when the generations of our own family members are aging, right? And we're starting to caregive for our grandparents and parents. And it's just difficult as each month goes by and we lose somebody that we love. And recently we lost our very own former superintendent, Grace Regina, who really has been a champion and hero of San Ysidro and our education and our community for so many years. So my heart goes out, and I guess if I had any message to share with the room and with our community is that life is so short, and it's incredibly important as a team of educators, as a team of community members, that we stay united and strong for the children that we serve, because they're the next generation of our future. And that next generation matters. So as I walked up here, because this room is so hot. And I wish Dr. Rodriguez was here, I could ask him to turn the AC on, please. I'm looking at Mr. Borges, but is there anybody there? Okay. So, welcome back to the new school year. Officially this week, actually, we had our leadership team return back. And so for all of you sitting in the room, welcome back to the new school year. I know your summer was only 1 or 2 weeks long because we have a modified traditional school year, but thank you for being back. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful summer. To our teachers and our 9 and 10-month classified staff, I am excited to welcome them back on, most of them come back Wednesday, July 23rd. And then we do our really big, wonderful welcome back kickoff for the entire school district team of educators. There are about just over 600 of us
who care for and nurture the children of San Ysidro. We'll welcome them back in a big event on Friday, July 25th. And I'm incredibly excited to share with you that today, Miguel Ortega told me the wonderful news that he was able to speak to a former superintendent, a state superintendent of California, Jack O'Connell, who will be our keynote speaker. Mr. O'Connell has been supporting our school district since 2018, when I first began as superintendent. And he's been watching all of the progress that we've made in the last 8 years. And what he shared with Mr. Ortega was how proud he is of us, of both the stability and the remarkable success that we brought to the children of San Ysidro. So I'm so honored for him to be coming our way. We just found out, right, Mr. We just found out.
Just this morning.
Yes. So moving on, the San Ysidro Education Collaborative and the San Ysidro Women's Club, you and your leaders, Maritza Chabalin, Alice De La Torre, who led our district, Cynthia Nagura, who used to lead the Southwestern Community College San Ysidro site. She was in charge of that whole location for our adults in our community to go to college. And to have her for so many years running the San Ysidro Education Collaborative and to see how vibrant and wonderful, I just want to say you inspire me. You inspire me the decades that you committed yourselves to our community and to the children. I didn't know you were coming, but we welcome you as a partner to our district, and we thank you for thinking of us.
We are so excited
Thank you so
to be
much.
here. Thank you.
Yes. And let me see. Ms. Davis, I've not met you before. Welcome to our school district. I wanted to let you know, we really, for the last 8 years since I've been here, we've worked so hard on transparency in our school district. And we won awards 2 years in a row from the San Diego Taxpayers Association. We won A's on the School Bond Transparency Report Card, and we've been in the San Diego Union Tribune for transparency. And we've just been recognized for 5 years in a row from Standard & Poor's and Moody's for the stability of leadership in our district, and also for transparency as noted in those report cards. So I always welcome feedback, and I don't know how to do a hyperlink, to be quite frank with you, but I did write that down because that's really intriguing to me. But thankfully, Mr. Ortega is super high tech. And I myself am dying of my gray hairs, but Mr. Ortega is going to help me figure out hyperlinks. So, I wrote down your tips, and I just wanted to say thank you. We pride ourselves for many years now on transparency, and we work to achieve that goal, and we always want to be our best. So we welcome the feedback. So thank you for joining us today. Also, wanted to share, and this does concern me, the federal education funds. This week, there was a freeze on federal education funds for the current school year. And we didn't know that that was going to happen. And so I'm really concerned about it because to California, the freeze was $6 billion in funding. To San Diego schools alone, it was $50 million of a freeze in funding. And the categories are concerning to the population of children that we serve. As many of you know, we serve the most vulnerable population of children in the state of California. So I want to echo the concerns of our Board Vice President Martinez, because this is very much a concerning issue to our district, who serves 1 in 4 of our children are categorized homeless by the McKinney-Vento Federal Act. Almost 70% of our students speak another language, and we represent over 30 languages in our school district, and almost 80% of our students rely on us for free and reduced meals because we feed them breakfast and lunch. So for this year, the information that I've received, and thanks to our CDO Marilyn Adrianson, who ran quick numbers for tonight's board meeting, the categories that are being impacted: Title I, Part C, migratory children. We are an elementary school district, we don't receive these funds, so this will impact other districts in the state. But migratory children will be impacted throughout the state of California. Title II, Part A, supporting effective instruction. Our district will lose $160,000 with this funding freeze. Title III, Part A, English language learners. Our district is set to learn for our English language learners $300,000 just as a single district. And then Title IV, Part A, student support and academic enrichment. Our district is set to lose $100,000. And then Title IV, Part B, we are not part of this, we're an elementary school district, so our high school districts will lose 21st century community learning centers. So I just want to share that I am concerned, this is for current year freeze. For next year, the potential loss is more grand, and this is where the National School Lunch Community Eligibility Program comes into play. Our district is scheduled to possibly lose $2.6 million if the Community Eligibility Program's National School Lunch Program is eliminated. And it is on the list for elimination, not this new school year, but next year, 26-27. In federal special education funds next year, we receive as a single school district $1.1 million. So we're watching it very closely. We pride ourselves in working very hard at protecting our children with special needs, and that $1.1 million is a lot of money for our children to lose if we lose that money. In Title I, we stand to potentially lose $1.3 million. And as you heard, there's certain sections of Title I, not all Title I, but certain parts of Title I. In Title II, we stand to lose $160,000. That's for professional development for our educators, classified, certificated, and administrative team members. Title III, $300,000, which looks like the freeze will take place this year and then move forward to next year. Title IV next year, possibly $100,000. This is a grave concern for our school district, for the children, for the population of children that we serve, for the dollars that these children go to. And we're a very protected community of our children. So whatever we can do as a united voice, it's so important that we're together and that we share that our children deserve these funds. Our children deserve for us to protect their education so they have a fighting chance in this very difficult world. And then the word stability that our board president shared. We worked so hard this last 8 years, and I'm incredibly proud and honored to be the superintendent in a community that I was raised in. My wedding dress was made here in San Ysidro, by the way. The lady who baked my cake for my wedding baked it right next door in the San Ysidro Adult School that my dad physically built the school, because he was also a school principal and educator in this community. And so my cake was baked here, and I grew up here. My dad's house was down the street from our district office. And so I just want to share with you that it's such an honor to be the superintendent here. I love our school district, and my soccer number was 7. I played soccer for almost 30 years in South San Diego. I was the captain of the soccer team, and I know Mr. Arias played soccer too, but he was more pro than me. He played college soccer. I never got to play college soccer, but he played college soccer, so he knows when you wear your number, like number 7, I was number 7. When I played for other teams, when I played for community teams when I was an adult, I was a multiple of 7, and 7 was taken, so I was like 21, you know, or something like that, but I was always some version of 7. So anyway, I'm so proud of our district because we now have won not just county awards, but state awards, particularly in the last 3 years, but we've won national awards. So we are well beyond the word stability. This last 3 years, we've knocked it out of the park with that Golden Bell Award and with the National Project Lead the Way Award for our sci-fi program. And I just could not be more proud of us to have both stability and success for the children of San Ysidro. That stability and success, I will end with a final note that we have been handpicked and chosen, and I haven't told the board yet, for a national study because of how successful we have been.
Wow.
Yeah. One of 150 districts in the whole nation to be studied.
Wow.
Yes, and the study's coming out of Stanford University.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my final note, that I'm so proud of us, for us to be handpicked by Stanford, to be part of a national study because of our stability and success as a school district. We've come such a long way, and we have much further to go because one day, I can feel it, one of our students is going to be the President of the United States.
And that was called, that's called.
Here we go.
12, General Administration, 12.1, Resolution number 25-26-0011, establishing annual special tax rates for community facilities, districts number 1, 2, and 3. And I want to say almost 1,000 pages for the materials to explain all that. The agenda is very, very short. Okay, materials for us to understand it, and that part was almost 1,000 pages. Youth board homes number 2.
I'll make the motion, Madam President.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, I thought, Dr. Carter, we didn't have anybody from the tax rate facility? Oh, okay. Oh, we need to vote first?
No, we could have a discussion before we vote.
Yeah, I apologize for the, thank you for the reminder. We do have, is it on? Yeah. We do have a representative just because we do, to explain what the annual special tax rate is for our community facilities district CFDs, just so that there's an understanding.
Hello, my name is Justin Jordan. I work with Key Analytics, and we are the CFD Special Tax Administrator for the school district. I apologize, I prepared those reports for the board, so I apologize that those reports were almost 1,000 pages long. That means
So you're the one.
I apologize.
390.
Oh, you were foreign.
Yes,
Round.
I apologize.
So it was less, thank you for that.
So just some brief information about the district's community facilities districts. In the 1990s, the school district, along with local developers, formed 3 community facilities districts across new developments to help mitigate the impact of those developments on local schools. The community facilities districts levy an annual special tax to pay the debt service on any certificates of participation that have been issued by the school district. And those certificates of participation were utilized to build Ocean Hills and Vista Del Mar Elementary School. The special taxes must be approved by the board on an annual basis, and they are enrolled with the county tax collector, and they must be accepted by the county tax collector by August 10th. This will ensure that these special taxes are included on the normal property tax bill of all the property owners within the CFDs, and the taxes will be paid when those taxes are due. And with that, I would welcome to answer any questions that anyone may have.
I only have one question, so, and I think I already had the answer, but just to clarify for the community in case there's questions. So in nothing, no tax will be going up. That's like the main question for every.
So these taxes do escalate annually 2%. However, when these homeowners within these community facilities districts purchase a home, they are provided with a document called a notice of special tax. That notice of special tax must be signed by the homeowner by the close of escrow, and that explains that the tax escalates annually by 2%. So the escalation factor for these CFDs would not be a surprise to any homeowners within those districts.
Oh, so they do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They do escalate annually by 2%, which is to match basically how the assessed value of your property pursuant to Prop 13 would go up annually by 2% as well.
Okay. Prop 13, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I think that's the main question for everyone. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
One other question, this is strictly relevant to property tax.
Yes, this is on the property tax bill only, right? And just to clarify, unlike like the district's general obligation bonds, which are based on assessed values, the Mello-Roos tax cannot be based on assessed value, so it's based on something else. For the district CFDs, it's based on the square footage of the home.
Thank you so much. Any more questions? Thank you.
I'll make the report shorter next year.
Well, sorry we made you wait so long, but thank you, really appreciate it. Okay, call for the vote now. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes by vote. 12.2, first reading and adoption of revised board policies and administrative regulation 4000 series.
So moved.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 I say my vote because I didn't have time.
Aye.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You stay.
I say my vote, yeah.
The vote passes 4-0. 12.3, first reading and adoption of revised board policies and administrative regulations 5000 series. I make the motion.
I second.
The vote. Aye.
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 I also abstain my vote for this one as well.
Aye.
4 minutes. 12.4, first reading and adoption of revised board policies and administrative regulations 6000 series.
So
I would like to motion to approve the item in the agenda with the exception of the board policy 6159, named individualized education program. And I have discussion if you want to hear before voting.
we need a second before we have discussion.
How can you vote if you don't know?
You made a motion, which is modified of what was on the agenda, which is good. Now we need a second to your motion, and then we would have discussion and vote.
There's no second? we make a motion, take the vote on the first motion.
We have to make a motion in a second, ma'am.
We're making a motion. Zenaida Rosario, I make a motion.
Okay? I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, and can I now discuss? No?
Well, she can discuss, yeah.
I always
You know
do
what,
it this way.
before we vote, we always do discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go back. Okay, so for my discussion, I just want to begin by acknowledging that the idea of changing the terminology of disabilities to exceptional needs as recommended by the CSDA, California School Board Association. I know it comes from a place of good faith. I truly appreciate the intent to reduce the stigma and promote dignity for students. However, I believe this proposed change needs to be more carefully considered before being adopted. One of my primary concerns is the confusion and inconsistency this change could create, not only within our district, but also at the state and federal and county levels. The term disabilities is deeply embedded in federal laws, including the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, and Section 504. And if you're wondering, again, I will repeat this, is the Board Policy 6159, Individualized Education Program. So if we begin using different language locally, we risk creating a disconnect between our policies and the federal framework that guarantees protection and services for students. To put this into perspective, in 2024, California passed Assembly Bill 2173 to reduce stigma around the term emotional disturbance. But rather than eliminating the legal terminology, the state chose to replace it with emotionally disability, still preserving the word disability because of its legal relevance and connection to federal law. That shows us that it is possible to address stigma without losing alignment with the system that protects students. That's why I'm concerned that removing the term disabilities altogether without fully understanding the legal and practical implications might impact students' access to services in the short term. We need a proper analysis from legal and special education experts before proceeding. I would like to ask the superintendent if there has been any indication from the U.S. Department of Education that the term disabilities, and I'll try to be more slow, that the term disabilities will be replaced at the federal level with exceptional needs. Because without that alignment, I believe this could cause more confusion than clarity. And, well, I don't know if you would like to, if you like to respond, Dr. Potter, to that. And finally, if this is approved by the rest of the board, then I will kindly request that this change be clearly and proactively communicated to the San Ysidro community, so families are fully aware of such a notable shift that will be affected every student with an IEP. And please, Dr. Potter, please put this on record as well, for my request. Yeah, if you can respond, that would be great, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Peraza. I was able to listen to your comments. I'm guessing that you may be referring to both the board policy and the administrative regulation embedded in 12.4 regarding IEP.
Right, yes, there's two, right, the regulation and the policy itself.
Yeah, and it appears as though, and this is what it appears to me, as though the California School Boards Association is making this recommendation for a shift in terminology to exceptional needs, as you did mention. One, because it's very positive for children, right? It's not seen as a negative, but also it appears that California has an education code where they're using, the California Education Code uses the term exceptional needs. When I look at this board policy, I do not see a reference as you're asking for a federal education code, and that we would need more time as staff to be able to determine, is the federal education code also using the same terminology as exceptional needs?
Thank you. Yes, and I'm worried because, we all know federal level has a different, if they have a different code, then with the state, it will create a lot of confusion when it's about legal documentation and, when it's about, federal codes as well. So I just want to avoid that and we can be in alignment with all together.
And thank you. One option that the board has, if they want to consider, regardless of how the board votes this evening, I can still work with staff to do a legal analysis of the federal education code, and I can report that back to the board as well, regardless of how the board votes this evening, because if the board determines to change their mind on their vote at a later time, we can also bring this board policy and administrative regulation back to the board at another time, regardless of how the vote lands tonight. Okay, thank you.
Call for the vote now. All in favor?
Aye.
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 There's no.
I'm going to abstain.
3 yes, 1 no, and 1 abstain.
Okay, just give us time.
12.5, approve and ratify temporary certificated management contract offer of employment for Manuela Colon, beginning July 1, 2025. I make the motion.
I second.
Vote. Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. 12.6, approval of professional development workshops, conference attendance, events for the governing board and superintendent for the 2025-2026 school year. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
I second.
For this particular matter, so because this will have a cost of $35,000. And I know we have, as a board, we have, different trips and, workshops to attend. I was wondering if we can have, an agreement as a board to only attend to the CSBA meeting, which will take place in Sacramento, and also to the coast to coast only. And other than that, we can have every other webinar in Zoom and do not cost the district more money in other trips to other places, so we can save a little bit more money for.
I actually agree with Mrs. Barraza, but I actually like to modify it even more. I honestly think based off of our budget, and more importantly, based off of the fact that it's gonna be tight, I'd like to recommend that, especially the coast to coast, the board president is the one that goes to represent the board. There's no need for more than one board member to represent us at the national level. And in terms of CSBA, really, I think it should be limited. And I agree with Mrs. Barraza in terms of the amount that the board members are spending on trips and whatnot. But, so I agree with Mrs. Barraza, limited to CSBA and the coast to coast with the Zoom for the rest, but the modification is that the board president go as a representative to the coast to coast, just because it's a big cost to send one board member to Washington DC, provide food, etc., with stipends, and then come back. I think it's a waste. So I agree with Mrs. Barasa, and I'd like to modify your vote.
And I would only add for consideration of the board that some of for example, there's new legislation that requires governing boards to do the ethics training.
Of course, those we have to,
For the required, trainings that have to happen with governing board members, I do recommend that we add in required trainings. And then for the 2 new board members, I think we should still give them the option to do the Masters of Governance training.
Sure.
Those would be my only 2 exceptions.
But that one is also online, right?
Some of them are, I believe it's 5 or 6 modules. And some are online and some are in person, depending on the module. Is that right, Mr. Ortega?
All track are virtual.
Thank you. I stand corrected by Mr. Ortega.
Yeah, one will be in September. In June. So, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So the 35,000 is also, it could be up to, but doesn't mean you have to spend 35,000 every year. And I know
That's true.
as a voted delegate for the Assembly CSBA, I may be asked to go somewhere, and if I can't go by plane or car, I don't think I'll be able to get there, so you have to make those considerations. It's not that I want to be traveling, believe me, but representation of our district is very, very important as well. And, so I'm just saying, we have to look at what's required, what's important, and as a delegate, I know that I am required at least 4 times a year. And they usually try to schedule it during the CSBA. So it's not like we're taking all these trips. But it is important to understand that just like teachers and even administrators, to keep their credentials valid, they must attend workshops and conferences. And some of them need to be in person because there is no better way to make those connections, relationships that empower education better than in person. So I'm just advocating for the importance of having board representations. It doesn't have to be me, but when it has to be me, I don't make extra money to be paying. And most of the time, you got past Miguel, I never turn in my receipts. I do my own food and stuff because I totally understand. I'm already honored to represent our district. So I'm not saying, hurry up, give me back my money. Nothing. The Ubers, all that, and it is expensive, but it doesn't matter because the commitment to who I am representing is what matters. But it could be up to 35,000, and we may only spend 10,000 total, so I don't know.
I think all those we approve item by item, so when they come up, we'll be able to vote on each and every one. And my intention, obviously, Madam President, I feel that you are the representative when it comes down to CSBA, obviously as a delegate, and I also feel that you should be a representative in DC with the coast to coast, just because those are so important to have that representation, no doubt.
I also like to make a little comment that our California School Board Association is a very dynamic group, and what we learn from those conferences is really important, especially now. But the other point is this, and I'm speaking for me because I'm not able to go to a lot of those, because it's a day where I may have a treatment and I can't make it, so I did not sign up for it, and I won't, because that money could be used, could be saved. Because the commitment is sometimes 3 or 4 days of going in person, having the district pay your flight, your hotel, and sometimes your meal. It's up to you, like tonight said, but it's also very important that you fulfill the day and be there, because otherwise you're spending the money on just 1 day or 2. Now, the whole thing is to take the whole day. If not, if you can't do it, then don't go. That's my thought when I think I can't go, so why am I gonna have the district pay for me if I can't go those 3 or 4 days? So, and it's very important because it is very important. Those conferences are, you learn, you share, and work with other people from all over California. I mean, you'd be amazed at how many people are there, how many actually they utilize to have speakers there to bring you those ideas, especially now where California is being affected in education a lot. And I think that's another reason why maybe it's very important for maybe those who can go those days at the conference, really complete the days. Absolutely.
So I will share, speaking with our chief business official, Ms. Adrianza, she did drop the total allocation from what it was last year down to the 35,000. So I really appreciate on behalf of the district your kindness and consideration to limit to what's necessary. We do have a first motion by Mr. Arias and a second by Ms. Lopez. The discussion, from what I think I heard, was an amended motion perhaps that includes maintaining the CSBA delegate assembly representation, which we have one state delegate, that's our board president, maintaining the CSBA annual education conference, only the president to attend the coast to coast in Washington DC, to advocate on behalf of education at the federal level, Zoom webinars as much as possible, and required trainings like the ethics training, and then finally the Masters of Governance for our new board members. So I believe it would need to be an amended motion, but I don't know if we can amend while we're in motion.
Well, we can, and essentially it would come to the one who made the motion to agree to the aforementioned statements, and then for the one who made the second to also concur. So, Mr. Alias, would you agree to Dr. Potter's points?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
I agree with the aforementioned amendments.
Perfect. Mrs. Lopez, do you
I
agree?
agree.
Okay, then we can vote on it.
Call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Clayton?
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Consent calendar, I want to, all items appearing are adopted by one single motion. There will be no discussion of these items prior to consideration of the motion unless a member of the school board or the superintendent requests that such item be removed from the consent calendar and voted on separately. I'd like to pull item 13.
Madam President, we have to make a motion in a second.
Correct.
I'll make the motion.
I second it.
And then no pulls from my end.
I have 13.C.1.
13C, got it. Ms. Lopez, do you have any polls? No. Mr. Arias?
No poll for me.
Mrs. Peraza? Okay. So we'll just vote on all of them except 13C.1.
Okay, so, take the motion on all of them except 13.C.1.
Now we can vote.
Vote
Aye.
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 Motion passes 5-0. 13.C.1, employment.
So I would recommend that we make a motion in a second, and then we vote. And my vote will be a yes for Mrs. Davis. But the truth is, we should do it formally before we congratulate her.
I'd like to make a motion.
Okay, I'll second. Any discussion? Hearing none, now we can vote on it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes.
Madam President, Dr. Potter, members of the board, if I may say a couple of words. with great enthusiasm that I introduce Ms. Iana Davis as the new assistant principal at Ocean View Hills. Ms. Davis has bring a wealth of experience and commitment to the students' growth and educational equity. She earned her bachelor's degree in human development from UC San Diego, a master's in education from Claremont University, and her administrative credential from San Diego State University. Her career began in 2013 as a first grade teacher in Los Angeles. In 2017, she joined our district as a member of the renowned Sci-Fi team. Her leadership qualities quickly became evident, and by the 2023, she was serving as a district resource teacher, leading a team of 13 Sci-Fi teachers. Most recently, Ms. Davis served as the interim assistant principal at Vista del Mar Middle School. There she earned the trust of students and staff alike through her effective use of restorative practices and her student-centered approach to leadership. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Iana Davis to her new role at Ocean View. Would you like to introduce your family to the San Ysidro family?
I have my husband Eric Davis, married 10 years this year. Selah, 3 years old, 6-year-old Lilia, and an 8-year-old Viola.
Oh, beautiful name.
Alright, here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Congratulations, Connor.
Over in the middle, right?
Alright, Todd, I can't see you. Let's see. Alright, there we go. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. And then I'm ready. 1, 2, and congratulations.
Alright, we need to adjourn. Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn at 8:51 p.m.
Did you hear that? 8:51.